Hi, I'm Lynn Devizin, owner of Sante Salon here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we are having a discussion today about restoring the integrity of the professional beauty industry. I have here with me Miss Ashley, and she's going to go ahead and introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Ashley, also known as Yours Naturally 11 on YouTube and Instagram and across all platforms. I'm a curl specialist who has been in the industry for 17 years. I've been specializing in curl education for 8 years, and I help clients embrace their natural curly hair through extensive education and learning.
Awesome. Irene?
Hi, my name is Irene Coates. I've been in the industry for almost 30 years. I am also an educator. My specialty is short hair. I love to cut. I'm also the owner of Vision Barber and Beauty Salon. We've been in business for almost 21 years now. And my focus is to mentor our up-and-coming stylists to be the best professionals that they can be.
And Trinity.
Hi y'all, I am Trinity Plain. I am a natural hair specialist and hair loss specialist at True Beauty Salon. I've only been in the industry for 4 years, so I feel like I'm still a baby. But I'm all about natural hair education and mentorship in the salon.
Awesome. So today we're going to basically talk about restoring the integrity of the professional beauty industry. One of my main questions for you guys is kind of just like, what does that mean to you guys? Like, do you feel that the integrity needs to be restored, and why? If I can.
I definitely think it needs to be restored, and of course it starts with us. It starts with those persons who've been in the industry for a while. I would say at least 10 or more years. And it starts with us because we're the ones that sets the tone. Mm-hmm. We're the ones that reach back and inspires or mentor those that are coming behind us. So I definitely think that the industry definitely needs to be restored, and it can be restored. Mm-hmm. But we also need to collaborate more.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there needs to be more collaboration because we can learn so much off of each other. Yeah. You know, Irene has way more experience than both of us, and yes. I feel like there's a lack of collaboration, so we're missing out on we can teach each other and learn from each other.
Yeah,
definitely. I agree. I would say working with Miss Brandy and seeing how she operates in the salon, and now seeing you, Miss Irene, I feel like collaboration is important. So when you see that, you show up, it's like, oh, okay, I want to be like that, yeah. Or I want to take something from her here and there to implement it in your career.
Yeah.
Now that's from the professional standpoint. So let's get it a little bit deeper from the consumer or client standpoint. Why is the restoration of integrity so important for the consumers or the clients?
I feel like it's important because we have social media. Social media has really warped our view as both professionals and clients. You know, our clients tend to look at what's on social media and they want the same in the salon. I feel like it's kind of like we need to take it back. You know, as professionals, we need to take our professionalism back and gain the trust of clients and, you know, hold ourselves accountable for what's going on social media too. Yeah. You know.
That's really good. Mm-hmm. But I also want to just add to the fact that a lot of times we see our customers as customers, right? And my philosophy is I work for them. Mm-hmm. I work for each person that sits in my chair. And so we have to really understand that we're servicing a community of people.
Yeah.
And so, in my opinion, I just think that until we change our ideology about the consumer versus the professional, then we'll be able to come to some common ground in restoring the professionalism.
Okay.
You know, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I get that.
I would say too, with the loss of integrity and the horror stories that you may see online, some clients come in and they're already scared and nervous and hesitant to ask questions, or like, oh, I didn't do this to my hair, and they're super freaked out about what they've seen on social media. And I think it's important when they come to see a true professional that has integrity, and it's like, girl, you don't have to worry. This is your safe space. You know, we are real professionals here to give them, I guess, to show them in real life that what they see online is not always the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
But that also goes back to creating a culture in the salon. Like you have to create a professional culture in your salon, not just yourself, but amongst your teammates, so that when that customer comes in, you don't have to spend a lot of time tearing down the wall.
Yeah.
You know, they can come in already confident, knowing that they're going to get quality service.
I think it's very interesting that you brought that up. From the professional standpoint, what I see in the culture and the tone of salons is that it was kind of destroyed, not to, you know, put a negative connotation on it, but when suites, you know, became popular, it isolated stylists in a way that the community aspect of it was really destroyed. And that gave way for a lot of non-professionals to come in the industry and pose as professionals. And so I think my biggest take on how the lack of integrity affects the consumers or the clients is that, one, it's hard to distinguish who is professional, who is licensed, who's certified. It's hard to understand what realistic expectations are because of social media. Like you were saying, you see all of these different things that may not necessarily be attainable for your hair. Everybody is different. Every hair follicle, every strand, even some variations on one head, you know? And so it's really hard to say, I want that exact look, when in fact it may not be amenable to your hair, you know, in terms of the health is the first priority amongst professionals, and then just actual the ability to create it. Okay, we have these unrealistic expectations as non-professionals or consumers because we don't really know what it takes to achieve this look, you know, in a healthy way. So I think that restoring the integrity is really important for all of those reasons that you guys listed. What inspired you to pursue a career in beauty, or who has been your biggest influence in maintaining integrity in your career?
My grandparents, they inspired me. My grandmother and my grandfather, they both did hair.
Oh, wow.
Just when I was growing up, so I was in the salon as a little girl. But who is inspiring me daily now is Miss Brandy Stevens. And she's not gonna, she's so humble, she's not gonna say this. But she's my biggest influence, just every day seeing how she operates in the salon, just not as the owner, but just she's still working behind the chair. So still just as a stylist, how she shows up every day just to support us as stylists and as the owner to her clients. It's just, I just love the way she shows up.
That's awesome.
She's my biggest inspiration.
Well, I have a family that has been in the hair industry for a long time. A few people, nobody close to me, but people who, you know, I've gone to as a client. So that's one of the things that inspired me to be in the hair industry. But the main thing that really inspired me is I'm biracial. My mom's white, and she raised me, and she did not know how to do my hair at all. So just helping other people, you know, enjoy what grows out of their head, you know, no matter if they wear straight, curly, or whatever, just teaching them the care, everything that I learned, you know, that's really what inspired me is really my childhood, because I had a hard time accepting my hair.
Yeah.
It's so funny that all of us have similar stories, because my mom is a hairstylist. My grandmother was a hairstylist. So I grew up, you know, under that and assisted my mom. She was a braider, so I assisted her braiding hair. But there was this one professional that I watched, and her name was Miss Monica. And she had a salon attached to her home. And it was just the smell of the salon that it was just, I just loved the way it smelled.
Yeah.
Just watching how she just moved in the salon and just how fashionable she was.
Yeah.
Like everything about her being a hairstylist inspired me. And I think, you know, along with, you know, growing into that, just engaging with my customers. I love this is ministry for me. Like I see it as ministry. Just engaging with my clients and being able to pour into other women And now I'm seeing the legacy of my girls. I have 4 daughters. They're coming up behind me. They're working in the salon. So seeing that is my biggest inspiration.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I didn't have anybody in my family doing hair. Well, I had my aunt Sandra. She did have a salon attached to her house, but I didn't get to like frequent her business as often. What clicked for me that wanted me to get into the hair industry was I was a girly girl. Like I really liked being pretty, making myself pretty, making other people look pretty. And when I realized that I was able to actually transform like a person's like whole idea of who they are just from, an experience, it made me feel good to help them feel better about themselves. They would come in and be all, it's bad or, whatever. And then when you finish, they're like confident, they that just shake back, and it just really made me feel good to be able to do that for somebody else. And I was like, you know what? I really like this. I want to keep doing it, and so that's what really brought me into it. But some of the people that I can kind of think of that the Joday's salon, it was a family-owned business. Husband and wife were the main hairstylists. The daughter was the shampoo assistant. And they just had a professional standard, like you said, that smell and the salon grade products, those professional products that you could only get when you come to Joday's. And it was just a standard of Black excellence that I was able to see. And I was like, wow, I want to do this, and it just really impressed upon me that we deserve excellence, we deserve quality, we deserve professionalism as a people. And even going more into textured and Black hair care and things of that nature really made me want to pursue that based on that salon. So, okay, as we go into segment 2, I want to talk about navigating challenges and building trust. Okay, Ashley, with your advanced training, how do you ensure continuing education and credibility in an industry where misinformation can easily spread?
We need to start doing consultations again, number one,
Because
I feel like within the world of social media, we have, and y'all covered this already, but I want to piggyback. We have a lot of unrealistic expectations walking through, and I feel like it's partly our fault as professionals posting like the reactions, the clients, oh my God, like everybody just sensationalizes the final results. And I feel like it's important that we start showing different outcomes because not everybody, like Trinity said, not everybody's going to be able to get that particular wow factor after every single service because it depends on so many factors like the health of the hair and is it their first time coming to me, et cetera, et cetera. So I feel like we just need to get back to consultations, opening that dialogue, talking to clients more, not over promising, but just
under promising and
over delivering. Yes. Exactly. So I feel like we need to get back to being more realistic and having, like I said, a different variety of outcomes. Just sharing other things other than the wow factors because not everybody's gonna have that wow experience. That's just the truth.
Yes.
I would say working with Miss Brandy, I realized how important consultations were. So it's required before any service. Don't get me wrong, some days we do consult same day if we have enough time, but for the most part, consultations are required before we do any service. That way I can meet the client, they can get acclimated with the area. Each stylist in the salon that can meet, and we can be on the same page before the day of service with cost, with my capabilities, what I can do, with what their hair can do, the state of their hair. So that way, when they come in on the day of the appointment, they know, okay, this is what I'm in here for. This is what I'm going to pay. And we talked about, their journey, and this is what it's going to look like the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's really good. Consultations are very important. But I think, like she said, also, that's not shown on social media.
Right.
That part is totally left out. So we don't really know the background story as to how the service provider was able to help achieve this outcome. So that's really good. Irene, you have a professional hair care line, Free to Be Professional Hair Care. So with you building your hair care brand, How has your integrity from your business practices transferred over into your product line?
The way I operate in my business as a hairstylist is the same way I operate in developing my product. I always try to be honest and transparent with my guests.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it comes to product development, I try to be honest and transparent. I don't want to put anything out there that I would not use.
Mm-hmm.
But also education. So I try to educate my guests, and I educate myself so I know what product or what ingredients actually works for our hair.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I
I
love
would
that.
say honesty, education, and just being transparent.
Yeah, that's awesome because product consumption is really big, especially in the textured hair community. We go in the stores and we see all of these beautiful, shiny, colorful bottles on the shelves. And we mostly pick it because it smells good,
Yeah.
not necessarily about the ingredients or what they do. And so I find that nowadays, some consumers are getting more ingredient concerned, and they're trying to find out what's going to work best for their hair. So it's good to know that actual stylists are creating these products and it's going to work for their hair because they're also using them in the salon as well.
And
And I think that speaks volumes to maintaining integrity in the professional hair care industry as well. So, Trinity, I have a question for you because you have some concerns about education and what's presented to service providers and cosmetologists, beauty industry professionals early on. So, in what ways can beauty school improve education to better prepare ethical professions?
It's so many things. I will say, I think it's kind of people are recognizing it more now. Of course, more texture education should be implemented in the schools. But I will say, just as a student, I graduated at the beginning of 2019. No, I graduated at the beginning of 2020. And I would say better business management and financial skills, and not just saying, oh, this is what's going to cost this much or this is how much you need to have, but like really breaking down the numbers, just an estimate. Okay, I have this many clients. This is what the service costs. Okay, this is what your bills may. This is what your bills may look like. You still have to pay taxes, overhead costs, product costs. I don't think is detailed enough in school. I think it's just generalized.
Yeah.
Another big thing that I would say is mental health. At Aveda, we did cover some of just self care and mental health in the industry, but not really honing in that we are our clients' therapists most of the time. They're confidants. Sometimes they come in and they just dump important. There's nothing wrong with it. But as cosmetologists, we have to learn how to improve our own emotional well being because we have to move on to the next 4 clients and try not to carry all of what your previous client gave you to your next one. And
Yeah.
so, how are you maintaining your own mental health? I don't think it's talked about enough in school.
Yeah, that's really good. Irene, did you have something to add?
She said it, but I like what she said. I mean, I agree with everything. But also, I think if they incorporate some type of internship program that allows the student to actually go into a professional setting and actually see the day-to-day operation of a professional salon, and it'll give them a more realistic view of what actually takes place on a day-to-day basis. I think a lot of students have the misconception that once they get into the professional setting, everything is just going to flow. It's just going to happen. But also teaching them how to properly market themselves, how to actually bring in the clientele, and how to be consistent are some of the other things I think need to be really worked and taught at the school.
So don't forget,
Okay.
I'm just going to play, I guess, a little devil's advocate because I am a licensed cosmetology educator through the State Board of Louisiana, right? So I've been on the teaching side as well as the service provider side as well as the owner side, all of the sides, right? So as the educator, being in the institute settings, I find that there is maybe not enough time, right? Maybe we should think about lengthening the time of the programs, typically it's a standard 12 months to get the foundations, right? Just to get the foundations, hair care, cutting, coloring, some basic styles, right? But a lot of what we're mentioning here is almost considered advanced in the beauty school etiquette, right? And maybe that standard needs to be elevated with the times. But that's something that's just now, within the last, 10, 20 years, that's getting to be important in terms of mental health, wellness, business standards have been elevated. And so now people are starting to see this standard that wasn't maybe initially preset when developing that type of curriculum. So maybe introducing that to your state boards or talking to whomever that can make a change in that setting to lengthen the program to a point where they may be doing some type of advanced training to then transition them to actually being a licensed service provider. But sadly, what I find from working in the schools is that so many people complete their hours, but I want to say about 5 or 10% actually get licensed. So majority of them are completing the school, but not fully seeing it through to actually get their license, because then they're finding the ease of being able to transition in a suite without having one, right? And so that's where the integrity and the standards and all of those things begin to get watered down, because there's no real pillar or foundation connecting all of those things, actually seeing it through to make sure that, we are fully raising or cultivating industry professionals. And I think that not turning a blind eye, right? Saying, well, that's not my salon, that's not my business, not turning a blind eye to some of the things going on. It may not affect us in that moment, but as a whole, as a collective in the industry, it really does affect us, because now, as we can see, we're not respected as professionals as much as we used to be. The standards and the quality of why you should let, someone who has 5 or 10 years of experience braid your hair versus the 14-year-old in high school that learned how to braid off of YouTube, right? What's the difference? Oh, it's just the price. I can get the same look. It's so much more than that. And you don't understand that or learn that until you've been put in a situation that unfortunately may take a lot of time to see when you're transitioning. And now 4 or 5, 10 years later, you have traction alopecia, you have hair thinning. You don't understand what has happened to your hair over the years, right? Because sometimes it's not an immediate effect that these things will happen because of who you've allowed to perform services in your hair. And so this main conversation, this episode 1, is to really start the conversation, bring to awareness of what consumers and professionals should be aware of alike. Like, this is very important because so many people are being affected by it. Crazy enough, we're able to achieve this instant look, right? We learn how to apply wigs with medical grade adhesive. We've learned how to, color and dye and manipulate all of these prosthetics and extensions, but we're not talking about the long-term effects that it's leaving on natural hair and how it's affecting the natural beauty and taking away from that confidence of why people don't feel good without walking outside, without having all of those additives and enhancements on, right? I can look good in my natural hair, or I can look good with a lace front wig on. But knowing that I have the confidence and the option to do both enhances who I am as a person, versus saying I cannot go anywhere without my wig on. I cannot go anywhere without my makeup on. It doesn't just affect the hair industry, it affects everyone in the beauty industry. Lashes, makeup, skincare, all of this is affected by it. And I think it begins with maintaining or restoring the professional integrity of our industry.
I just wanted to say I think that's why it's important to show up. I feel like now, as a manager at True Beauty, and I'm helping kind of mentor the stylists there, I feel like it's my duty to go back and show up at the cosmetology schools to see, this is what I don't see it as just doing hair. I'm a real professional in the beauty industry. I show up, I may do a demo, or I may just give simple business advice or business practices just from what I learned just from my 4 short years in the industry. Because you may think coming out of school, you want to own your own salon or a suite. And because I thought the same thing, I think that it's so easy and it's simple. And if you don't really, I didn't really see that. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to, leave school, start my own business. And now that I've been working with Miss Brandy, I'm like, girl, what were you thinking? It was no way that I was, and now, don't get me wrong, I think it's possible.
Yeah.
With the right mindset and if you saved, but in most cases, I think that getting more experience with customer service, learning more, continued education can really help you build your business from the right way.
Yeah.
It's so easy to think in school that you can handle all these things by yourself, but looking at Miss Brandy, everything as a salon owner and a stylist that she has to go through every day, I'm like, I could not have done that year one
Yeah.
out of school,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just showing up and being that example, I think is helpful for the students to see how to be an ethical professional.
So when you say showing up, you mean like going back to the schools and kind of letting them know like the reality of it now that you're out? Is that what you mean? Okay.
And being completely honest and transparent financially, emotionally, mentally.
Yeah.
I go back to not just Aveda, I go to BRCC, their cosmetology program, LaSalle, Denham Springs.
All
I make
the
sure I
locals.
hit all so they can know. And many times, not many cosmetologists get the experience like Paul Mitchell or Aveda. Those smaller cosmetology schools need to know and need to see what a professional looks like. I think we have that advantage at a larger school, but for many, they don't know. They just only see maybe what the next, stylist is doing or what they see on social media, but it's not always true, especially if you want to have that integrity as a stylist.
Yeah.
That's really good. That actually leads me into the next segment, talking about the future vision and legacy building. So in any order, not particular, you may want to break, but what legacy do you want to leave in the beauty industry? And this is for everyone.
For me, I want my legacy to be she got it right.
Yeah.
Like she really got it right. Meaning that the way I show up for work on a day-to-day basis, the consistency, the professionalism, the continual education. Like I'm a stickler about education. And just making sure that, my guests, whoever I serve over a period of time, that I still resonate with them, right? Like,
I love that.
If I pivot and I go into another industry, that guest that's left behind can go and sit in someone else's chair and still feel my presence.
Yes.
Because I've sown so much into them and into my career.
Yeah, I love that. Ashley?
I just want my clients to know, and even fellow stylists, that I truly cared, about anybody that I service, no matter who they are. I just want them to know that I put my all into it, It wasn't about money, because for me, that's easy to turn down. But it was about just holding my integrity, being honest, and truly caring about, what the service that I was providing. And them personally, sometimes, you connect on a personal level with clients. I just want them to know that I truly, truly cared. Yeah. And I want them to remember me, as an honest person.
I love that.
Yeah, I agree with Ashley, knowing that I truly care about the state of their hair and just who they are, just as people. And also leaving a legacy of knowing that it's not just a hobby. You can have a real career with longevity. You can make as much money as you want to, or not as much money as you want to, that you can really make a honest, good living with this career.
Yeah. And something to be proud of, right? Yeah. I think for me, that's the legacy is education and passing it on to continue enriching the industry with increasing levels of high quality standards, right? Especially not to just, women, Black women, we deserve education, we deserve quality, we deserve luxury. Yeah. We deserve to feel pampered, go into a place and fully relax, trusting 100% our service providers that we are in good hands. coming in there and talking about our problems and feeling like a weight has been lifted off of our shoulders. Like, we deserve those experiences, not as just women, but Black women, and just keeping that industry standard that way. No one should go into a salon environment feeling unsafe or nervous or apprehensive or any of those things, right? This is, has always been considered a luxury service to, the masses, but it's something that's really needed. Talking about wellness, self-care, all of those things, it's something that's really needed for women in general. We carry so much, we wear so many hats,
Yes.
we do a lot, so professional beauty industry services need to be rendered on a periodic basis, and as professionals, we need to keep that standard going, right? We need to increasingly improve it, and we need to hold everyone accountable from what we're teaching our consumers, guests, clients, and what we're giving back to the community and our beauty schools and our local salons, and fostering those newcomers that may not even know that they need us yet. So finding out innovative ways to influence our local beauty communities, I think, is very essential. And to me, this is just, a small part of how we can start doing that. And so I love all of you guys' responses. I really think that you guys individually contributed and spoke well to restoring and maintaining the integrity of the beauty industry. And I want to open it up if you have anything else you want to add or say before we come to a closing today.
Well, I want to say this was good.
Oh,
This was good. Thank you for the invite.
of course.
I think everything that was said, it was needed to be said, and it just inspires me even more to just keep pursuing professionalism,
Yeah,
regardless of how the industry looks as a whole.
yeah.
I just want to say thank you again to Miss Lindsay, and I think that it's good that we are having these conversations so people, not just other stylists, can see, but our consumers can see that there are still true professionals left in the industry. And this is just the beginning.
Yes, for sure. Just the beginning.
I want to say thank you to Lynn for having us, because I feel like we need more of this. We need more of a roundtable talk and more community within the industry, not just outside of the industry. We need more of a conversation to keep the ball rolling and to elevate the standards for the beauty industry. So thank you so much for having this talk. I look forward to more, for sure.
No, I'm all about it. Community, camaraderie, for the amount of people that are in this industry that are professionals, there's like thousands more of the people that need servicing. So there's no way we're in competition, with each other. It's so many people, even within our small city. It's like 80,000 people in Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. There's no way you can service all 80,000. You are myself, and so we want to be able to share that responsibility, share, the gift, the curse, all of those things. We want to be able to share that amongst our community so that we're all being effective in helping and doing our part. Because just like all of the breads on the shelves, there's something for everybody. Like you said earlier, who might be for you, might not be for you, so on and so forth. So working together to enhance the community, keep the standard elevated, keep it uplifting and growing is really important to me. And that was my reason for wanting to do this, finding like-minded, professionals in the industry to come and just have the conversation and put it out there to the consumers and professionals alike. And hopefully you're inspired, you want to learn more. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment box below, and we'll be so looking forward to answering them. Oh, guys, tell them how to find y'all on social media.
Oh, you can find me on social media at Yours Naturally 11 on all platforms. I do have a YouTube channel and Instagram. Yours Naturally Salon is my salon page. Yours Naturally 11 is my personal.
And you can find me on Instagram at IC_Silverhead, and I will post on Facebook.
Awesome.
And you can find me on Instagram at Trends Beauty Bar.
Awesome. And Sante.salon, and also santesalons.com. and Lynn Devizin Lifestyle on YouTube. So I want to thank all of you for taking your time out, because beauty industry professionals are busy. We are wearing so many hats. So I really do appreciate you guys taking y'all's time out to come and contribute to the conversation. We'll definitely keep it going. There'll be other topics, more segments, and different things like that in regards to improving our industry and keeping it professional. Thank you all for watching. Bye.